Namaskar, welcome to What Does This Data Say? I am Ajay Prakash. In this episode, I am going to talk about something different, not the usual Indian politics. This is about two magnificent Hindu temples coming up in the Emirates. Now, as usual, the construction of Hindu temples in the Arab world is being shown as a major achievement of Mr. Modi. As usual, the Bhakt Brigade and the Godi media have been projecting him as a Vishwaguru who is out there as a savior of Hinduism. Of course, a lot of time, energy, and money goes in building these magnificent temples, and someone must have put in all that effort. And surprisingly, it is not Mr. Modi who is claiming these achievements. It is all the people around him, the so called Bhakt brigades, who have been hyping up these events. Now, before I give you the story of the Hindu temples in the Emirates, I like to first present to you the demographics of that region so as to set the background clear. In addition, I'll also tell you some very nice things that are happening in the Emirates, and all of us should learn from it. More than us, it is Mr. Amit Shah, the BJP, and Mr. Modi who should take out a page or two from their diary and really implement it in this country. I think that all of you know that there are more expats in the Gulf than the nationals. The entire Gulf country's population is 57.7 million. The expats form 52% of this population, which is little less than about 30 million. The maximum number of expats by percentage are in UAE, the Emirates, and Qatar, about 88%. The least number of expats are in Saudi Arabia and Oman, around 39%. Further breaking the expats into Indians and others, Indians form the largest ethnic group in the Gulf. Population wise, they are around 8.8 million and form 15% of the total GCC population. Any bracket which you see here is always in relation to the total population in the Gulf countries. The others, non-Indians, in the Gulf are around 36%. So half of the people working in the Gulf are Indians. So where are the maximum Indians working? Well, again, it's the UAE. UAE happens to be the country of choice for the Indian workers. The least number of Indians are in Saudi Arabia, which is understandably so because they do not welcome non-Muslims into their country. And lastly, let's see how many Hindus are working in the Gulf region. Out of the 8.8 million Indians, Hindus are 2.6 million, which are 4.6% of the GCC population. Other communities from India, the Muslims and the Christians, form 10.8% of the population, and these are predominantly Muslims. Hindus are quite uniformly spread across most of the Gulf countries except Saudi Arabia, where their population is only 1.3%. In the other countries like UAE, Kuwait, and Qatar, it is 10 to 15%. The same is in Bahrain, which is around 10%. As I said, the average Hindu population in the Gulf countries is only 4.6%. This statistics is a bit skewed because of the low percentage of Hindus in Saudi Arabia. Now, one more thing you should know that most of the Gulf countries gained independence from the British in 1971. The British were the occupiers, or you can call them the rulers, for centuries. During the British reign, there were no local laws, so the British were able to build churches despite the local people having a different religion preference. Dozens of churches were built by the British during their reign in the last 100 years. The list I'm showing you here is only of the official churches. Officially recognized churches are defined as those churches which both own and manage buildings and have the authority to issue visas and sponsor congregations. Now, in these churches, many of these places have Indian churches as well. Emirates today has more than 20 churches, and even a place like Kuwait, which is religiously very strict, has 15 churches. So the religious needs of the expats in the Gulf were fully met by the Christian churches, and of course, obviously, the Muslims had their mosques all over the place. It is only in the 70s when the Indians started going there as workers and the Hindu population started to grow, there was a need to have a temple as well. But then, these being all Islamic states, did they allow the Hindus to build a temple? Let us look at it. So, here is the list of temples and gurdwaras as they exist today. Bahrain has 2, Kuwait 0, Oman 2, Qatar 2, UAE has 8, and Yemen 6. And many of these temples or gurdwaras are very recent additions. So, in reality, the Gulf was never a religiously tolerant place all these years, barring the Emirates. Emirates had a different story altogether. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum was the ruler of Dubai till 1990. He ruled Dubai for almost 32 years. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum was a fairly religiously tolerant person. In 1958, Sheikh Rashid permitted a Hindu temple to be built on the first floor on top of an old-fashioned shop in Bur Dubai. The shopping center is also known as the Bur Dubai Old Souk, and many of you must have definitely gone there but would probably have missed the temple. It is in a small lane and not so visible from the road. So it is not only that a temple was allowed to be constructed in Dubai. Later on in 2012, the current ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, permitted a Gurdwara also to be constructed. The Guru Nanak Darbar is a Sikh Gurdwara at Jebel Ali village in Dubai and was founded in 2012. Now, this serves the religious needs of the 50,000 strong Sikh community in Dubai. The Guru Nanak Darbar entered in April 2017 the Guinness World Book of Record after it served a breakfast to more than 600 people from 101 nationalities. So, Dubai being the more tolerant emirate, they permitted a fair amount of non-Muslim religious activity. But the other emirates were not so forthcoming. Now, here I want to tell you something which is extremely positive that is happening in the Emirates. In 2015, the Emirates, all of them got together and then they decided that the time has come to become more tolerant and allow coexistence of different communities in the Emirates. As a positive action, they set up a Ministry of Tolerance and Coexistence. A minister was assigned and a strategic plan was developed. The ministry set for themselves 5 goals. Number 1, government's role as incubator of tolerance. Second, consolidate the role of family in nation building. Third, promote tolerance among young people and protect them from fanaticism and extremism. Fourth, enrich scientific and cultural content. Fifth, integrate international efforts to promote tolerance and highlight the leading role of UAE in this area. I have given the link of this website and I suggest that all of you, whenever you have time, have a look at this website because this is something which is really different and compare with that what is happening in India today. I think we are going in the exactly the opposite direction. Under the Ministry of Tolerance and Coexistence and the strategic plan that has been developed, one of the things that the Emirates decided to do was to become religiously more tolerant, which meant they would now allow different religious minorities to have their place of worship. And that is what has been implemented in the Emirates from 2015 onwards, that allowed India to build more temples in the Emirates. So it was never that Modi ji went there and then he talked to the ruler of Dubai and then he gave the land because Modi asked for the land. It was never the case. This is a well thought out plan under which the Emirates is operating. One of the initiatives that Dubai took was to create what is known as the worship village, which is a little ahead of Jebel Ali near the border of Abu Dhabi. A plot of land was assigned for religious activities where a Gurdwara came up, a brand new Gurdwara, a brand new Hindu temple has come up, and then there are 5 or 6 churches which are also being constructed. This brand new Hindu temple that blends Indian and Arabic architecture was thrown open to public on the Dussehra day, which was October 5th, 2022. And how our Godi media reported this event, this opening of the temple on Dussehra day? Have a look at some of the headlines. The top headline here is from Op India. Now, Op India is a news channel which is run by Rahul Roshan, and who is an Indian blogger and businessman. I am reading from the Wikipedia how it describes Rahul Roshan. Roshan founded Faking News, a satirical news website, and is the CEO of Op India, a right-wing news portal that has published fake news. Now, he says that first independent standalone Hindu temple in Dubai opens today for thousands of devotees. Not only him, surprisingly, Siddhant Sibal from WIAN News also gives a tweet, Dubai to get a Hindu temple today ahead of Dussehra. So the event is being projected as a major win for Hindus in Dubai. Now another subscriber has already pointed out, sorry Siddhant, the caption should read a new Hindu temple. There has been a Shiv Mandir and Krishna Mandir in Dubai for decades. Now in the end, I'll tell you the story of the new Swaminarayan Mandir coming up in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the capital of the United Arab Emirates and was not so much forthcoming when it came to religious tolerance. However, as I just explained, the Ministry of Tolerance and Coexistence was set up around 2015-2016, and that is the time when Mr. Modi in 2015 visited Abu Dhabi. During this visit in August 2015, the Abu Dhabi government allotted land to construct a Hindu temple. The next day, many of the channels started touting this as a big achievement of Mr. Narendra Modi. I am quoting just one of them from India.com, which says UAE government allots land to build a Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi. Narendra Modi welcomes the decision. And it's not only the press, it was the Ministry of External spokesperson Vikas Swarup who also tweeted, a long wait for the Indian community ends. On the occasion of Prime Minister's visit, UAE government decides to allot land for the building a temple in Abu Dhabi. A casual reader would interpret it as if Mr. Modi went there and then they allotted the land because of his visit. Though it was mentioned that the temple would come up within a span of 2 years, but nothing of that sort happened because the land was allotted in a hurry and there was much more paperwork to be done. And then Mr. Narendra Modi visited Abu Dhabi again in 2018. And what do you think he did at that time? Well, he inaugurated the Abu Dhabi temple. But there was no temple. If you search internet for Prime Minister Modi inaugurates Abu Dhabi temple, you will find hundreds of articles to this effect. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates first Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi. The headlines would also make you feel as if the temple is already ready and constructed way back in 2018. But in reality, this is what happened. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday officially launched the foundation stone laying ceremony for the first Hindu temple in UAE. Prime Minister Modi witnessed the groundbreaking ceremony, which was live streamed to the Dubai Opera House, where he was interacting with the Indian community. The temple committee members presented the temple literature to Prime Minister Modi and Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan last evening. And here's a picture from DNA where you can see Prime Minister Modi looking at a model of the temple which is yet to come up in Abu Dhabi. And he is, as usual, alone in the frame where he has some kind of gadget in his hand, and it looks like he's initiating the stone laying ceremony. Well, that was way back in 2018, 1 year before the 2019 general elections. Last month, our External Affairs Minister, Mr. S. Jaishankar, visited the under construction Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi, which he called is the first traditional temple in the Arabian Peninsula. Now, what he meant by the first traditional temple in the Arabian Peninsula, I am not sure. If a Swaminarayan temple is a traditional temple, then yes, it is the first one. Even otherwise, in Abu Dhabi, it is the first Hindu temple. And you really don't have to extend it saying that it is the first temple in whole of the Arab world. And when is this temple likely to be completed? Well, 8 years after the land was allotted in the year 2023, which is 1 year before the next general election in 2024. So thank you for watching. I hope I have clarified the issue of temples coming up in the Emirates. I'll see you again sometime soon. Till then, goodbye and namaskar.